your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony you will give today in the matter of the state of Georgia versus Jose Ibarra will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, please take a seat. Spell your first and last name, please.
My name is Connolly Huth, CONNOLLYHUTH.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
What do you do for a living?
I'm currently unemployed. I graduated in May and I'm waiting to go to grad school.
Where are you going to go to grad school?
Mercer.
What are you going to study?
I'm going to get my master's in mental health counseling.
You graduated from where in May?
The University of Georgia.
What's your undergrad degree in?
Psychology.
Did you, when you attended the University of Georgia, have roommates?
I did.
Can you tell the court where did you live?
I lived at 1686 Millage Avenue.
Who lived there with you?
Laken Riley, Sophia Magana, and Lily Steiner.
How long have you known Laken Riley?
Known her for over 2.5 years.
Where did y'all meet?
We met, well, she came over to my house to see the house, so in the house.
Would you and Laken run together?
Yes.
How often?
It depended on her nursing schedule, anywhere from 3 to 6 times a week.
Tell us what kind of runner Laken was.
She was a good runner. She could run for a long time, far distances. She's pretty fast as well.
And would y'all, when you would run together, well, first of all, did you run races together?
Yes.
Approximately how many?
1.
And which one was that?
The half in 2023.
Is that October 2023?
Yes.
And would you train together for that race?
Yes.
And could you tell us when Laken ran and you ran with her, are you familiar with her running habits?
Yes, I am.
What are her running habits?
She, like clothing-wise?
Clothing and what she would do on her runs.
Well, she always had a watch on. It was either an Apple Watch or she recently got a Garmin watch. She had different types of headphones she would wear, but she would listen to music while running. Sometimes when she was alone, she would call her mom. And she also had called her mom with me before on runs. She'd wear tight clothing usually.
And why tight clothing?
It's kind of annoying when you have loose clothing on when you're running and it's flopping around, as well as like compression.
How many times have you seen Laken Riley in running clothes?
Many times.
And of all the times that you've seen her running, does she wear running tights?
Yes.
And how often does she wear running tights?
Almost every time.
And running tights, and when I say running tights, can you describe what is meant by running tights?
They're like leggings, so they essentially like stick to your skin.
And when Laken would wear her running tights, were her tights above her belly button, or would she wear them below her belly button?
Always above.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm handing you 2 exhibits. One is State's Exhibit 16. I'm going to ask you to recognize the person in State's Exhibit 16.
Yes, I do.
Who is that?
That's Laken.
And does that fairly and accurately depict Laken in life?
Yes.
And does it also show the manner in which she would wear her running tights?
Yes.
State would move to admit State's Exhibit 16.
No objection.
State's Exhibit 17. Have you seen 17?
Yes.
And what is State's Exhibit 17?
It's a video that I took of Laken doing jumping jacks.
Okay. And does it also depict how she would wear her running tights?
Yes.
Your Honor, the State would move to admit 17 and request permission to publish.
No objection. 17 is admitted in the public, 16 and 17.
Let's start with 17 since we've toggled over already. I just published State's Exhibit 17 for the record. Is that the manner in which Laken would wear her running tights above her belly button?
Yes.
And did you ever see, in the times that you were with Laken, did you ever see her running with her underwear on the outside of her
No.
running tights?
No.
Would you toggle over, please, Your Honor? State's Exhibit 16, tell us what that depicts. When was that picture taken?
October of 2023.
Is that your half marathon that y'all
Yes.
ran? Okay, and in that photograph, do you see Laken's tights?
Yes, I do.
And again, could you describe, is her belly button showing or not?
It is not.
And is that consistent with what you would see every time she ran, that her belly button was not shown?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
I want to ask you, Ms. Huth, about February 22nd, 2024.
Mhm.
Tell us about your morning that day.
I woke up. I had 2 classes that day, so I woke up at 7:45. I quickly got ready and I had class at 9:35 and 11:10 in Caldwell Hall in the same room. As I got ready, I walked out to our living room and kitchen. Laken was sitting there with her iPad and she was taking notes and doing her homework and watching Netflix. And for 45 minutes, we sat and talked about our plans for the weekend and what we were going to do later that night. And I left for class at around 8:45 to get on the bus.
When you left for class, was Laken still in the house?
Yes.
And at some point, when you were in class, did you become concerned about Laken?
Yes.
Tell us why and what happened.
At one point, Lily had sent a text asking if Laken was okay. And I was in class and I just figured she was on the phone with her mom and walking around because that was standard. And I didn't think anything of it. And then at around 11:15, 11:20, I got a call from Lauren, Laken's sister, and I didn't answer because I was in class. And then she called me again and I didn't answer. And I texted her and I said, like, I'm in class, what's up? And she asked me if I'd heard from Laken, and I immediately went into panic. I stepped outside of the class and I called Lauren back and said I'll try to figure out what's going on. So I then called my 2 roommates, and both of their phones went immediately to voicemail. And then I tried calling Laken, and her phone rang, and then went to voicemail.
Why were you panicked immediately?
Just because she would run for a long time, but I knew she had class that day, and I knew that she wasn't one to be late or off schedule.
All right. So, at some point, did you meet up with the University of Georgia police officers?
I did.
When did you do that, and where were you?
I had Sophia pick me up from my class around 12:15, 12:20, and she took me straight to the intramural fields to meet with the officer and Lily.
How long did y'all stay there that day?
6 hours, 7 hours.
When was your last communication with Laken Riley?
9 o'clock
At what day?
on February 22nd.
Okay. And did you ever hear from her after that?
No, I did not.
May I have one moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
That's all I have. I'll pass the witness.
Ms. Huth, I'm going to try and keep this short, but let me know if you need a minute, okay? You described Laken Riley as a good runner.
Yes.
How long was a typical run for her?
6 miles,
And how long did that take her?
58 to an hour.
Okay. If the two of you were sprinting, do you know what her fastest time could be for a mile?
8 minutes.
Besides the clothes and the phone, did she often have anything else with her when she went on runs?
Her AirPods.
Did she ever carry a house key with her?
Yes.
And where was the house key kept?
Depends. Sometimes her leggings have pockets. They'd be in the pockets or in her waistband. There are pockets in some Lululemon brand leggings, so in there, or in her jacket pocket.
And I believe you told officers that it was typical for her to wear 3 layers of clothing on a run. Is that right?
Sometimes, yes.
And sometimes when she was getting heated on runs, she would remove the middle layer, the shirt in between the jacket and the bra.
No.
You didn't tell the officers that she would ever remove a layer of clothing?
Between where?
She would sometimes remove her shirt when she got heated on runs.
She would take her shirt off and have her sports bra on, but it was only when I was with her.
Okay. Thank you. I don't have any further questions.
Just briefly, did you see the Ring doorbell footage of February 22nd at 9 a.m., 9:03 a.m. when Laken left the house?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the clothing that she was wearing that day?
Yes.
What was the clothing she was wearing?
She was wearing Lululemon black leggings, a Lululemon zip-up jacket that was black, and her white Hokas.
And hookahs are what, for the record?
Tennis shoes.
Okay. And that Lululemon black jacket, you've seen Laken wear that one before?
Yes.
And would you describe that as a tight jacket or a loose jacket?
Tight.
And how tight is that jacket?
Very tight.
That's all I have now.
You should be excused.
Yes, sir.
Let me go down, ma'am. This time we'll break for lunch. We're in recess till 1 o'clock.